Hello everyone, welcome to the Current Affairs Analysis series by Annamaya IAS Academy. Today's topic is an extension of the ongoing protests in Bihar, which is related to the special intensive revision of electoral rules conducted by the Election Commission of India. So before I go into the topic, I would like to make a quick announcement. It is about the essay writing course which is started in the institute itself by Hannath Reddy sir, who has scored excellent marks consistently in the essay paper. Now, essay is one of the most ignored papers when it comes to UPSC mains preparation. I strongly believe a personal mentorship program will help the students. Now, for more details, check out the description below. Thank you. Coming back to the topic. Now, a special intensive revision, it has been kicked off by ECI. In this entire topic, amidst all these protests, we need to understand both the dimensions here. One, why this exercise is mandated, it is necessitated today, and two, the new problems that this exercise has brought to the forefront. Both sides need to be respected, as neither of them are here to blame. Now, to begin with, what is special intensive revision of voter list? Before we start off, we need to understand that elections are the single most important event in any democracy. So, to maintain the integrity of the voter list is of utmost importance. This ensures the integrity of the voters list, plain as that. Now, SIR, it is to thoroughly verify, correct and update the electoral rolls in a constituency. It is different from the annual regular updating, which I have explained in the further slides. Now, why is SIR done? It is triggered, it's unlike the regular updating. SIR is triggered by certain events which happen after we have concrete proof of large scale errors in the voters list, of poor coverage of eligible voters. This threatens the integrity of voters list and the integrity of democratic processes itself, and other normal factors like recent delimitation or anticipated elections, or if the court specifically mandates a proper revision. Now, the key features of any SIR in general, they are field verification, as in the BLOs go door to door. They also happen in normal census and everything, but reportedly here it happens on a different intensity, on a different scale, because they are properly verifying here. They are not just noting down. This is what you need to understand. They are cross checking, and this little exercise is where the entire friction is coming over here. And use of technology integration with other, which is voluntary, and there are voter helpline apps now, and of course public participation, which is important to carry out an exercise of this magnitude. And the timeline, it is done over a specific window and it's not regular. As I said before, it is different from routine revision. There are many factors which are which necessitate an SIR, and the key factor is that all the drawbacks in the routine revision. I strongly believe that if this was proper, we wouldn't have such a situation here right now. Now, okay, to elaborate the data, this happens over a nationwide or statewide, and this even happens at a district or a constituency level also. Here, the technology also, it has, here not just technology, the role of people becomes more important, because in SLR what happens is that we are trying to cover the gaps, which means these people are usually left out by the earlier erstwhile revisions. So, the people need to manually go and cover these gaps. This is where the technology difference occurs, and yeah, this is a more in-depth correction process. What does SLR aim to achieve? The basically outcome, in one line if you need me to explain, it aims to include all the eligible voters and it aims to exclude the ineligible voters. This addition and subtraction is what maintains the integrity of voters list. As simple as that. Now, duplicate entries, false entries, electoral fraud, which we hear about time and again in news, and to boost voter turnout. That is also the ultimate aim. because once the voter list is compromised, people will lose faith in elections itself. So it is important to maintain their faith, and it is important to maintain voter turnout ratio also. Now coming to Bihar, the issue that's going on now, this also happened in Jammu Kashmir before, you can also refer to it. Here it is termed by the opposition parties as Bihar's NRC. Back when NRC was widely in news, the protests and everything, this could potentially be that issue. It's not me saying it, it is the opposition party which is, bringing this out. It could potentially lead to such wide scale protests and all. See, it's all due to, as per what experts say, it's all due to inclusion and exclusion errors that are not occurring today. They have been occurring since 70 years. So I don't see how it is right for us to understand, for us to expect that today people will cooperate with the government, today they'll produce documents and everything. This word I'll further explain in the slides, because I myself was surprised during this presentation, like during my research. So we can potentially link it to NRC. If opportunity presents, please include that point. Yeah, what's going wrong is, to begin with, the structural and systemic issues. Same outdated administrative infrastructure, lack of door-to-door verification. Most BLOs, they just rely on panchayat data, they're not even going door-to-door. And non-functional grievous redressal, which is virtually absent. And forget about proper customer care and diversity, all that stuff, it's virtually absent. Social and demographic exclusion, this is where the real friction is happening. Now, it has a disproportionate impact on migrant workers. In case of Bihar, it has one of the highest interstate migration rates. So when they come back, they are not finding their names in the electoral roll, and this is happening in other document verification also. And second thing is exclusion of women. Now, in these points, even I used to think that, can't they have a simple Aadhaar card? Now, who doesn't have an Aadhaar card, or who doesn't have a ration card? But this is the reality of these people, they don't. They never have access to it. Government did not reach these areas. Those are the areas we are talking about, and they are significant in numbers. Especially in exclusion of women, many women, they don't even have an ID proof, which means they are so marginalized that their families didn't even care enough to get them an Aadhaar registration. And especially widows, separated women, their data are virtually non-existent. So it has not just in voters list, it has ripple effects on each and every beneficiary scheme also. This is where we need to understand that the government has not reached yet. So on this point is where the opposition party is questioning, how far is this correct? How far that you expect all of a sudden today for them to include women all of a sudden and everything, without working on these ground issues. Next, of course, digital divide. Bihar, especially being a state which is very little digital penetration, the online portals and forums are not being used here by the public, and marginalized castes, in this case Mahadalits and Pasmana Muslims, are reportedly being excluded, reportedly. Now, political interface. Now, the question occurs here is, why are they being excluded? Why is this drama going on? Because once you exclude an entire group or an entire geographical area, they will lose their voice forever, and other areas and other social groups can grab the power. They won't be eligible to vote. So this compromises the dignity of an entire group. So this is the reason the protests are being, they're happening right now. Yeah, there are allegations of voter suppression. It's not, it's not, on paper it looks like a very normal exercise, but they know the impact. The players here know how powerful this exercise can be, and they're doing everything they can to subdue this process. So this is where ECI needs to have more teeth, it needs to have more workforce and powers, so that people don't, people don't damage the dignity of this process. And local power dynamics, BLOs are chosen from local people who are vulnerable to pressure. And administrative lapses. BLOs are reportedly taking bribes. They are reportedly, they're including and excluding names by taking money. They're asking money to include their names in the voters list. So all this is happening. Again, the corruption, which is not going to go anytime soon. Transparency and trust deficit. So there are no awareness campaigns reportedly here. They didn't advertise that such a campaign is going on, and they didn't train the public that this is going on, this is your right. No one told them that this is your right. So everything started pretty haphazardly. So even the public are pretty disinformed in this area. Next, language barriers. So the Maithili, Bhojpuri, everything, they are different from mainstream languages. They are not the same, despite what mainstream media thinks. They are not the same. They are different languages, and they need to be given that respect. You can't go to a person speaking Maithili and expect them to understand Hindi. Even the words don't match over there. You can't even manage. So that's the thing with these language barriers, and in a place with low literacy rates, the entire operation is being compromised here. Next, delayed and opaque publishing. The voter rolls are often delayed, which reduces the window of correction. Inclusion and exclusion errors, we are not able to process them properly. This is another thing, and even the published ones are also filled with errors. Now, if this goes wrong, how does it affect